what is up? Alright. Well. I thought about recording just a video today, but then I decided, why not just do a live stream? Why not just get that out of the way? Why not just have a little fun? So, fuck it. That's why I'm here. Let me turn that light on. So, my camera's being a little laggy. Give me just a second to fix this. I hate it when it does this. What I'm going to do is the exposure will get a little out of whack. There we go. And then it will, the frame rate drops to like 3. And I am not satisfied with that. Not at all. So, not a lot of people here, not expecting a lot, to be honest with you. This is more just an update, more so than anything, and then we'll do a little Q&A if there's some people, once I'm done talking. What we're going to do today, I got some presents in, and I'm pretty excited about them. And we'll be talking about 3 Nights, 4 Days. That campaign is closed. For anybody that might be watching this later, might want to back the book. We are done with that. There might be an opportunity to get your hands on the book after the first printing, and maybe when the second print, whenever we do the campaign for part 2 later this year, we'll do that. But I have goodies here. I have stuff to show off from the campaign itself, and I also have some Inglewood stuff as well. So, and for those wondering how I'm doing, people from my Discord server that are patrons will probably know I was not feeling very well this morning. I'm doing better now, but given that it's going to be one of those weeks that it's raining a lot, and then it's going to be sunny, and then it rains again here in Illinois, I'm probably going to get sick again. I'm getting old, you know. My sinuses tend to get fucked up every time the weather changes. So, what's up, Oliver? How's it going, dude? I got some of your work to show off today. But real quick, I need to grab some of those other goodies. So, bear with me for just a second. Alright. So, I have a ton of comics here. A ton of them. This is all Inglewood stuff. So let me... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need to cordon off 5 of these. And I'll talk about why I'm cordoning off 5 of those here in a second. The rest of these are going to friends and family. Specifically, these 2 director's cuts are from my mom and my dad. So, because it's family, you know, you kind of have to... you know, give them special treatment. But anywho, 3 Nights is in. The physical books are in. We got those in just a few days ago, or not too long ago. So what we got here, we'll show them off bit by bit, is the art book. Now, the art book, like I said before, it's just a simple. There's some good-looking wing kits in the background. Thank you. I worked very hard on them, actually. The 3 that are up front, which are Death Scythe, Wing Gundam, and Shenlong, those are all 3 custom painted. Whoa! I actually have an airbrush in my kitchen that I use whenever I do that sort of thing. But these, we ended up printing. They ended up looking really good for just a manga-sized print. Logo on the back. These are the ones that Preston will actually be sketching in. So for those of you who got that tier, this front page that's what that's for. And then on the interior of it, what we ended up doing with the print, we did something a little bit different. We did a satin finish on the paper with 70 pound. And yeah, it looks very, very good. Micah, Gundam fan, I don't think you've made it clear yet. I'm actually looking at possibly getting a wide Gundam poster right here above my my laptop here. What I would like to do, if I had the money for it, I would commission somebody to do a Universal Century piece of all of the Universal Century Gundams, which would be like everything from the original RX 7802 all the way up to the Victory Gundam or the V2. So, but the colors look gorgeous with this print. One thing I need to probably, and you can see there's not a lot of reflection from light off of them either, which is actually kind of nice when you're reading. This is a satin finish as opposed to a gloss finish like I did with Inglewood. And just to kind of give you an idea of what the difference is, you'll notice here less shine than this. In my left hand is gloss, so there's less reflection. So if you're reading in like a super well lit room, like if you're in like a doctor's office or something, you're just trying to pass the time. You're not gonna have that problem. So, Xavier's here. What's going on, buddy? What did I think of Iron-Blooded Orphans? I loved it. I've just finished it recently. I loved it. I want to do a video on it. I might do that this week or next week, because I really, really enjoyed my experience with it. It's a bit of an idiot plot, but it's an idiot plot with purpose, which is kind of why I like it. Another thing to mention about this is that this art book is on top of that. For those of you who bought it, is a lore book. So the backgrounds of the monsters, I'm pulling it back so you guys can't read it, but the backgrounds of the monsters are in this, like the monsters that are shown in the book. So you'll understand where they come from, what creates them, that sort of thing. And I actually have not, I don't think I've revealed what exactly creates monsters in this universe. And I don't want to. I want you to read the book. And then you like it. I think I've told Oliver. I think I've told Preston. At some point, I told them what creates them. So there's some of the few who actually know what it is. Like it's kind of a close-lipped secret. I think the only other people I've told about it are the only people that are outside of who work with me at Sleeveless Comics. I think the only people who know where the demons come from are Liam, Piper, Xavier, and Optimus. So, did I build the amazing Master Grade Barbatos? He actually hangs out with me here on my desk. I don't want to pick him up though because his sword's fuck it. He's right here. He just chills out on my desk all day. Along with Al Simmons. But, and yes, it is an amazing kit. I want to build another one and custom paint it. I want to do candy paint or metallic paint on it. I don't want to pull that one apart because I'll end up damaging it because I've got monstrous hands. And for those who don't believe me, standard comic size, my hand. And just to be clear, a standard comic is like, what, 8 inches tall? So the tip of my middle finger, it's kind of ridiculous. Or 10 inches tall. So my hands are huge. So another thing I got in, as I carefully open the package, this is something if you signed up for the mailing list that you'll get. If you ended up backing physical, well, there was only physical in this campaign. But if you ended up backing this campaign, and that is the trading cards. Very glossy finish. You didn't see an Epion? It's over there. I'll show it off at some point. Let me get through all this stuff, and then I'll show off the Gunpla collection if you guys want. I can't show you all of it because all my Universal Century stuff's in the other room. But I've got all of my Gundam Wing and G Gundam stuff over here, and then Barbatos. But these are the cards you get. There's one of each Nite, so you've got Roger, John, and Dietrich, and then on the back, these things came out so pretty. Are bios. So these are formatted almost sort of like the old Marvel comic cards that I used to collect as a kid. And like one of the coolest things I've ever gotten to do ever since Comicsgate started, and then the pros started coming in, was when I got to talk to RT Bear, and he actually told me that one of the Magneto ones that he did, he inked. And I'm like, dude, I remember having that as a kid, and now I'm talking to the guy who did it. This is fucking cool. I love RT Bear too. He's a great dude. But anyway, so these are the cards you get with it. Now I have one of each of the covers here. Let me just put these away. And by the way, your cards will come in these packages. And when they are packed, Hatman is wearing gloves. So just so you know, and you would just want to like put them in with tweezers and like put them away to collect somewhere. We're making sure you're taken care of. So from there, let's have a look. Hey Mata, what's going on? Let's have a look at each of the covers, because there's 4 of them. All right, yeah. So, I've only opened one of these to look at the interiors. And it's not the Vinny cover, oddly enough. But we'll roll through each of the covers. So here's the original. This is the one with a trade dress on it. And this is the one that I've opened and read already. So... just a second here. Sorry, GJ. Say the cards, at least for this campaign, were mailing list only. I can't just kind of give those out because those are supposed to be exclusive. There might be another opportunity to get them in the future, though. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. Make sure Hatman remembers bags. I swear I'm gonna give him such a mighty nuggie, dude. I will kick the crap out of him if he forgets bags and boards. We did buy a bunch of them though. I mean, these all came in bags and boards, so we're never gonna have that problem again. I do know that some of the copies of Inglewood that went out did not have them. That was a mistake on our part. And like I said, if anybody got their books damaged at that particular time, all you had to do was just let us know, and we would have sent you another one. So. But then again, nobody actually did that. So, Anyway. No problem, GJ. I don't want you to think I'm stiffing you. It's just, I promised exclusivity. I can't take that away. It's the same with the art book. It's like, this little thing, it's never being printed again. Ever. The materials that are in this, exclusive to the backers. This will never be... These books will eventually make their way to comic book shops. Eventually. It's not going to be soon. Maybe in a couple of years. But part of my long game is to get comics into shops again. And to get them in places that are easy to buy. But some things are always going to be exclusive to Indiegogo backers. Because you guys are basically helping us set the foundation for the next 5 to 10 years by backing these campaigns. Some people don't realize that's actually something that is going into a lot of this, is it's not just having cool comic books, it's also getting the chance to start a business, and to set the future. Bobcat throws in a buck and says, "Congrats, man. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it." So, here is the actual cover. This, of course, was printed with, satin. Oliver, I will tell Brian this, but in case he forgets, you tell him too, and have Preston tell him too. Print the next 6-gun that you guys are doing together in satin. It actually makes your colors pop that much better. The only way that it would have been even better is if I did a UV finish. Like, seriously. Your colors look so fucking good with a satin finish. Here's the back, what the back cover looks like. Just so you guys know, this is not a panel from the book. This is all photoshopped. But Hatman threw this together. At the end of it, you can see there's a description of the book and then the credits. So, story by me. I'm the person with the least comic book credits on this book. You know, Oliver and Preston and Eric are all such seasoned vets. You guys made me better. Seriously, as a writer, by getting to work with you guys. Seriously. So, it really... And because of that, everything from here on in will be even that much better. You know? I've been writing... I'll tell about the Project Lazarus stuff later, but I've been writing a couple other things, and the writing is getting even better from me. I didn't know if I could get better. I'm getting much better. Like, it's crazy. But, let me show you guys the interiors. Specifically, I don't want to show any pages that haven't been shown already. So, and there's quite a few. So here is the infamous satyr. And just look at how those colors pop right off the fucking page. And again, 0 inks. 0. Not inked at all. And thanks so much, Matthew Rittenauer. You have yourself a good night. Thanks for stopping in. Let me find another page that's been shown before. Let's find the Now They Know Fear. Yeah, these fucking pages right here, dude. And one thing that everybody has said from this book that has read it, because I gave it to some people. I gave it to Piper, I gave it to Liam, I gave it to Optimus and Xavier. There's no fluff in this. This is not decompressed. This is part 1 of 2, and it's 2 nights, basically two of the nights that go on, and it's all death, destruction, and action. It's a lot of horror. I write old school, and Oliver can attest to this. I'm a very old school style writer. I don't like to write like a decompressed guy. I don't. I like to pack as much story in 22 to 24 pages as I can. So whenever I'm writing, you know you're getting a full story. I'm not gonna, if there's a cliffhanger, you're not gonna feel like that cliffhanger came out of nowhere. Like the ending, the time you get, the one thing I love, the thing about cliffhangers and why they can be frustrating, there's 2 reasons. A, you want the story to keep going, you're bummed that it's over. Or B, you don't feel like you got enough and then it just ended. The second is the Bendis problem, because Bendis, right? The first is the one you want. You want to leave people on a cliffhanger that's like, I gotta have the next issue. You know, 3 nights, 4 days, 5 coffee shop scenes. Yeah, at the end of the book, the cliffhanger is that they all get shawarma. No, it's not. So here are the other covers, so you guys can see them. These were other... Every time that I do a campaign, from now on, there will be a specific type of cover that is exclusive to the mailing list. That you can get through an email that you get whenever you sign up for it. So here is the 2 Virgin covers. So this was the sketch cover. Originally I was just going to do the colored one, and then Preston's like, no, do the other one. Okay. And lo and behold, people jumped all over it. We sold about 60 of these, I think. Like 30 of these, 30 of these. So, people liked them. You know, people who are collectors enjoy these. So these are what the Virgin covers look like. I told myself I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to have to do this. But I don't want to get fingerprints on it. So, I don't have any gloves with me. I'm a weirdo who does not like to airbrush with gloves on. So, let's use a napkin. They get burritos in the end. Dude, I love burrito. I could use a burrito right now. Whether it's like fucking Tex-Mex or whatever. Like, I haven't had an authentic burrito in a while now that I think about it. It's all been like Tex-Mex or fucking Taco Bell stuff. Not that that's a bad thing. But come here, you. The black and white covers. Try not to get my actual fingerprints on it. Have a different back. So instead of a color one, they have a monotone one instead, but with red text. Oh, burritos. Well, here's the joke. Until I started working with Bogdan, there are no other white people on these comics, at least, like, well, no, Eric. Eric's it. Eric and Hatman. And I'm a Jew. I'm a Jewish Scotsman, you know? So, like, the joke from Brian was that he's like, yeah, Micah only hires cheap Latin labor. I'm like, I pay you guys better than the fucking mainstream does. At least I think I do. So that's what the back of the black and white looks like. The cover is the color. Still considering doing a black and white manga style version of Three Nights. I think at some point what I want to do, Oliver, is I think what we should do is we should do a hardcover whenever we're finished with the whole book. And what I want to do is I want to do maybe a prequel story, or something like that, or something supplementary to add to the book that's only in the collected edition. But I don't know yet. I haven't crossed that bridge yet. But I'm thinking whenever we do that we should do like a manga style inked version of the book and sell that with a black and white cover. So I think that would be really cool. And then finally, this is the Vinny Tartamella cover. This cover we are definitely making posters of in the future. Obviously, Vinny's an amazing artist. He cut me a deal for this cover, which Vinny, thank you, dude. Like, you did awesome work. You always do awesome work, but especially here. This is in my opinion is a perfect tribute to Prince of Darkness, you know. And Prince of Darkness, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated horror films of all time. John Carpenter's a big inspiration. Like, if there's three people that inspire my style of storytelling more than anybody, it's probably Warren Ellis, John Carpenter, and Chris Claremont. So yeah. One thing I am playing with is one of these knights actually getting his own book in the future. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. I'm mulling around some ideas. But, so Three Nights is in. We are looking to hopefully start fulfillment this week. Hatman's a little under the weather too. But once he gets feeling better, I'm hoping that we'll be able to go ahead and start moving these out for you guys. I am excited, very excited, honestly, for the future, you know, of what I've got going on with Sleeveless Brand and all the guys I get to work with. And the cool thing about it is that it seems like everybody I work with wants to work with me again. And that's exciting to me because all you have to do is say, Micah, can you write a story? If you're a talented dude I've worked with in the past, the answer is going to be yes. You know? I mean, fuck, dude. Like, Oliver, if you and all the guys at 656 said, Micah, write us a story, we'll do it for you. I'd absolutely do it. I could do it about a killer vampire luchador. But I will not name him Mil Muertes, because that would be ripping off of Lucha Underground, which would be terrible. Are you part cat, Micah? Get a little under the weather when storms come in? Maybe. I don't know. How many books did I end up printing? It's a very good question. So we sold 488, I think. Let me look this up, actually. I want to say we printed about, like, 550. Because we wanted to have a little bit of overprint for the next campaign. For people who missed it the first time. Fair enough, Bobcat. You actually have a Luchador Monster Hunter in the works. I want to read it. I need to back the Kryptonolds when I have money, because that looks really good. But yeah. But no, seriously, if you guys ever want me to write something for you, just hit me up. Dude, I'll get you something cool. But I was just like watching Lucha Underground like reruns a while ago. Actually, not a while ago, like not too long ago. I'm a big pro wrestling fan, and the Mil Muertes, who, by the way, it's like half the luchadors in that show weren't even Latino. Mil Muertes was one guy. I'm like, man, why don't I do like a vampire luchador story? That'd be funny. But no, Luchador Monster Hunter sounds fun. Like, beating, like, suplexing vampires to death? Sign me up, dude. Sketch Stevens is in the chat. Says, sorry I was gone. Had my appendix taken out since I was birthed. Shit, dude. Well, Sketch, I hope you're doing better, man. It's good to see you here. So, how many copies did I sell? I am more than happy to say. So we sold 62 of the Virgin covers between both covers. We sold, how many Vinny comics did we sell? We sold where are my numbers? We sold 35 of the Vinny covers. Because those were a stretch goal, so I didn't expect a ton of them. So that's almost 100 books right there. Then we sold 390 of the normal comics. So yeah, 487. So we printed, I think it was like 530, 540 books. So we didn't overprint much on the Virgin covers. We're actually going to be... one thing I'm going to actually tell people, especially for those of you who watch this later, if you have been having mail snatched from your door or you're having problems getting books, when we go to fulfillment, if for some reason Indiegogo does not send you your tracking number, please do let us know. Just email us what your backer number is and your name. And what we will do is we will make sure you get that tracking number. And if you're having mail snatched, what I would advise doing, you can go to the options on USPS, and they actually have an option to hold at the mailing facility. Have it held, go pick it up there. Because not only does that save you from possibly that getting snatched off your doorstep, that saves us money from having to reship another book. So, but yes, we overprinted for a second chance. Well, not for a second chance campaign. When we do Three Nights Book 2, for people who missed the first one, we'll give them opportunity at that printing of the book, of the ones from this printing. So, that is the plan. Hard to bite dudes through the mask? Well, it depends on the Lucha mask. Do you have a Lucha mask like Rey Mysterio? Because the Mysterio family, all of theirs are open mouth. Ultimo Dragon did as well. Psychosis. Now we're getting into my Lucha knowledge. But if it's like La Parka, or now he's known L.A. Park, then he couldn't. So it just depends on the luchador. Or Mystico. So on and so forth. Pentagon Jr. is another old... Now he was Pentagon Jr. and then Pentagon Dark. Now it's Pentagon Cero Miedo, I think? Yeah, no fear. So, zero fear, technically. But yeah. And apologies to any Spanish speakers in here. My Spanish pronunciation's awful. I used to be able to speak Spanish decently, then I just didn't speak it for like a decade. And now I just barely remember any of it. So... I want to relearn it. I want to relearn that, and I want to learn Japanese. I want to learn... My goal in my... Once I start hitting my 40s, my goal from my 40s to when I turn 50 is to learn 2 languages. So... You know your luchadors? Dude, I was introduced to Lucha Libre through WCW back in the day. Like, Rey Mysterio Jr., I'll never call him Rey Mysterio. He's Rey Mysterio Jr. I watched him, Eddie Guerrero, Chavo Guerrero, Psychosis, Ultimate Dragon, Super Calo. Who else was... I don't remember if Tejano was... If he ever wrestled for WCW. I know him from other things. Vampiro. Not really, he's Canadian, but he wrestled a lot in AAA. Mil Mascaras, you know, like, trying to think of who else. Mil Mascaras didn't show up on WCW. I just knew of him through Reputation. Who else was on WCW back in the day? That was Cyclope. Cyclope is another one. God, the Cruiserweight division was just full of luchadors. Chavo Guerrero Jr., El Santo, Blue Demon, yeah. So yeah. I'm pretty familiar with Lucha Libre. I don't get to watch AAA very often. I don't get to watch wrestling in general very often. But I definitely enjoy it. He shows how thick the book is? Sure. Well, Sting's not really a luchador, but no, whenever I get the chance, I'll watch it. So it's not a super thick book. So that's the book, and then let's compare it to a director's cut of Inglewood. About the same size. Okay. So, I'm just going to set these over here for now. Now, that's basically it for 3 nights. Now we're going to talk about a couple other things I'm working on. Before I get to Inglewood stuff. There's, whatchamacallit. There's, a couple different things. First, there is, I'm working on a novella. One thing that I noticed, you guys know I'm a big Jonathan Hickman fan, right? I really enjoy Jonathan Hickman's work. The only problem is that he's working for Marvel now. I really don't want to give Marvel my money, so I haven't read anything on his X-Men run after that big event finished, honestly. But one thing that I always kind of get frustrated with Hickman, because I own all of East of West. I haven't finished it because I don't want to read the ending because I don't want it to be over. I'm weird like that. But, one thing that I get frustrated with Hickman is that Hickman comics are like 18 pages of comic and then at least 4 or 5 pages of fluff. And the problem with that fluff, it's very informative about the universe, but the downside is that it kind of takes away from more art. Comics are a visual medium. So, what I am going to do is I am creating a novella that is that fluff. Instead of just putting it in the comics. I don't want to do that. So, I've missed nothing skipping X-Men. Well, it's Hickman though. I'm a fan of his writing. I'm gonna feel like I missed something, but sorry. Had a piece of dead skin hanging off my finger and it was driving me crazy. But anywho, what I am writing, the tentative title is the Desk of Dr. Caleb Connors, the history of Project Lazarus. I'm probably just gonna knock that down to just the history of Project Lazarus, and what it is, or just the journal of no, this is a better title. The History of Project Lazarus, the journal, or something that's just like from the journal of Dr. Caleb Connors. So, what this novella is it's going to be about 100, 200, well, maybe even 200 pages of journal entries from the doctor who is the lead geneticist at Project Lazarus, who is the main character's father. And I just started writing it at one point, and I got like 20 pages in. And I was just like, this is really good. I'm really liking where this is going. So, the goal for me is to finish that sometime. And what I want to do is my artist on Lazarus, to kind of help him build his confidence up. What I want to have him do is continue doing sketches for me. And then what we'll do is we will include those sketches in the book on top of the journal entries. So there will be some art in there too. And then, of course, he'll get proceeds from the book as well. So give him an extra chance of making some money. So I think that he's gonna dig it. I'm very happy with it. Hatman hasn't looked at it yet, just because he's not feeling that great. So he'll get the chance to. I might actually, just to take some burden off of Hatman, Pipes, if you're watching, hit me up. Maybe I'll have you do it instead, if you're not too swamped. Oh, he's barely writing X-Men at this point. That sucks. What Hickman's doing will break your heart. I don't hold what Hickman has to do, or the situation he is in, as a writer against him. Because the universe of X-Men, or the way the X-Men are portrayed right now, not his fault. It's the fault of all the people that came before him. And we're pushing nonsense. So I can hardly hold it against him. He just basically took it to its logical conclusion. But anyway, is it a medical journal or like a war journal? More along the lines of like a war journal sort of thing. It's basically, there's not going to be a lot of scientific mumbo-jumbo in it. What I want to have is basically a detailing of what Project Lazarus was like, how it was founded, in a page-by-page accounting from one of the people who founded it, and his experience in dealing with all of the figures that are within it. So it also gives the chance for people to get to know the director, whose name is John McDonald, and how he came to be involved. One thing I've mentioned is that 3 Nights, 4 Days is a prequel to Project Lazarus. It actually leads directly into it. And the thing about Lazarus is, so we get to find out why exactly this book is so important to Project Lazarus. And where it comes from. Where do they get the information on the demons? Where does that come from? What is the history of these things? So on and so forth. Some of that stuff is also hinted at in the art of 3 Nights, 4 Days, but overall, it goes without saying that it's a big part of the mythos of this universe, which is why it's so important for me to get the book published. Speaking of which, I gotta catch up with my artist on that. I'll send him a message on Discord. So, it will be, why not call it the director's journal? Well, it's not the director who's writing it. So, at least not yet. I might end up giving him, like, some parts of it. Maybe I'll have, like, some parts of it told from his perspective. Maybe part of it told from the perspective of the lead of the cybernetics division. You know, maybe from the person who's the lead of the strike team. So, because basically it's cordoned off into different sections, like Lazarus is. There's a genetics division. There's a cybernetics division, which also includes the bionics division. So the bionics are a subdivision. The strike team, which is their basically ground-based forces that are all normal humans. Then the actual members of Lazarus itself, Alpha, Epsilon, or Alpha, Sigma, and Omega. So, yeah. It's pretty big, and the gimmick of Lazarus is that the whole base is built into the Appalachian Mountains. So it's comes right near, like, the entrance to the facility is like down near DC. So, because it's a subset of the CIA. But anyway, so that's one thing that's going to be going on. The other thing that's going on is Englewood Book 2. And I got some stuff to show off. So, let's see here. I did. How'd she get in here? Anyway, so the mailing list for Englewood Book 2 is up. For anybody who has not signed up yet, the link is in the description, I believe. Let me check the description to make sure that it is there. It is. So, basically, we are looking at launching this campaign within the next week or two. We're almost ready. There's only a couple things left for us to do. So we've got... Basic idea is that it's going to be a much bigger graphic novel. 66 pages. Brian Martinez is coming back to the art. Armand Strange is coming in to do the colors. As you can see, the colors are much better. Not that the colors were bad in the first book. I don't think that they are at all. But we've switched over from a painted style to a cel-shaded style. More of an anime influence. Because Brian's art is basically Baki the Grappler by way of Ed McGuinness. You know? Over-exaggerated, big muscles, big expressions. You know, so a cel-shaded style fits so much better than what we were doing before. Not to mention it's not going to take as long. And if you sign up for the book, you're going to get a black and white version of the Donald DeLay cover, which Donald has done a tremendous job. But I've got some updates to show you guys. First off, Scotsman sent me this. Scotsman's doing the colors for this. These are not finished. But this is how the Englewood Book 2, the color cover is looking. And I'm loving the way that it's looking, honestly. Scotsman's so fucking good. A lot of people sleep on him. Because they're like, oh, the colors on Xenotype weren't that detailed, or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, Scotsman had to basically invent a coloring style to color Odie's work. Like, come on. That's impressive. It's sort of like with Joe Ball. I love Joe. Joe is an amazing artist. There's ink everywhere. It's not easy to color. If Lidl was here, she could actually confess to that, because Lidl's had to color Joe. You can ask Farah Nurmaliza. Farah did a great job coloring Joe's work too, but she's even said it's really hard. So, And Scotsman has colored Joe Ball with no problem. He actually colored the original version of the Bullet Maker cover, the one that Got Hanzo's doing with Joe. The Scotsman's incredibly talented. He's really a jack of all trades. So I am more than happy to work with him on this. I think he's doing a tremendous job so far. There's still more work to be done here, but just the progress so far, it looks gorgeous. So yeah, super excited to get the final on this one. Now for some interiors. These are just black and whites. Armand's flatting this one right now. So, later in the book, there will be a point where Carlos is going to get his comeuppance. Where there will be an end to the story of Carlos. So, if you say fuck Carlos, you need to buy this book. Because bad things are going to happen. This is the beginning of the final assault. And this is actually some of the parts that show off the Vanta Black stealth mode of Elijah's outfit. As you can see here, he basically is a shadow. Makes old boy cough on his fucking joint smoke. Jaro in the chat says, colored something for Joe Ball can confirm is very challenging. There you go. Thanks, Jaro. So, as you can see, he literally pops in and out of shadow. As you can see here, old boy had a bad day. These panels here I love. This is a low quality image, just so you guys know. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. But here you can actually see Brian's inks have improved immensely. He's done a great job with it. So they just start shooting. Scared out of their fucking minds. I love Armand right here. We just there's also hints at future books in here, just so you guys know. But love the kill right here. But you can see the Saint emerge literally out of shadows, like he's a part of him. Have a good night, Bobcat. Why does it make me think of Batman the Animated Series? I don't know, but I'm glad it does. Because that's one of my favorite anything. Thank you. That's a huge compliment, Mata. That's actually a massive compliment to me. And to the guys. So, as you can see here, vengeance is coming for the kings. So I am super excited about this comic. I love the story that I'm getting to tell here. It's a ton of fun. It's returning to the roots of the street level story. You know, it's about one man who's just had enough and says to himself, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to put an end to this. I'm going to go make the difference if the rest of the world isn't going to. And so he does. So I'm super excited about this comic. Again, all you have to do to get on here, come over here to the link in the description, Englewood Book 2, email address, put it right here. You don't have to sign up for the Indiegogo newsletter if you don't want to. All you have to do is click this top one, sign up. Here we go. and then you get in on it. And what you get, of course, you're going to get, it says here free trading card. You're actually going to get 2 of them. If you sign up for this mailing list and you back the book physical. There will be a digital version available, but yeah. You'll also get a chance to get a black and white version of the cover. So, that's basically the long and short of what I had for you guys tonight. Again, wasn't expecting a big show, but there's a couple things here that I am going to mention. So as I stated, I have a huge stack of Englewood stuff. These copies are going to my friends and family. However, over on this other area, I have 5 more copies. And I'll show them to you guys real quick. These are floppies. They're not the director's cut, but they're floppies. The thing about the floppies, these have the wraparound cover. This cover is never getting printed again. Ever. We did overprint on the secondary cover. We might sell some of those. But, we haven't decided yet. The reason is this. What I would like to do, the goal for this campaign, dollar amount wise, is $15,000. We need $15,000 to make it happen, because it's a bigger book. The higher page count means printing costs are going to be higher. I obviously have to pay my guys, and all that stuff. So, and plus shipping and printing costs. So with all of that factored in, $15,000 is what we need to make this book happen. If we get to $30,000, if we double that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to include issue 1 into it, and then it's no longer Englewood Book 2. It's a trade paperback called Inglewood Born in Blood. So once we get to that dollar amount, we will be more than happy to add in those extra pages for you guys so you can get the whole story arc all in one go. So, and then this will fulfill much later in the year. This is going to fulfill around November. But it will that'll be an opportunity for you. Now, for these copies, for these floppies that I have here in my hand, I'm going to stop touching them. For those 5, what I'm going to do, because there are 0 signed copies of Inglewood in existence, I'm going to sign those. And to the people that get the most referrals, the top 5 people who get the most referrals that aren't me or Hatman, you get a signed copy for free. Keep in mind, that book's never, that version of that comic, that floppy with the wraparound, never being printed again. So if you get the most referrals, you get the most people to sign up, you get one of those. The top 5 get one of those. So, that's something to consider. And, yeah. I'm excited, to say the least. It's going to be an amazing book. It really is. I'm super proud of it. I'm excited about the next arc, too. I've actually started writing the next book. The next arc is going to be called City of Assassins. And that one introduces a couple new gangs, plus, of course, one that we've already encountered. So that will be fun times. I'm loving writing this book. It's an exciting book to write, because I honestly never know where I'm going with it, except for people are going to get their ass kicked. Other thing to mention, Peregrine Book 2, there is going to be a print that goes along with that, and with Englewood Book 2, that you can only get through those campaigns. It's going to be done by Preston Acevedo. Hopefully Oliver will be able to color it for us. But it's going to be a half and half. Meaning to get the whole picture, you have to back both campaigns. So, Gonna be awesome. The Windy City special comes back as well. It's gonna be a little different this time. There will be shirts. There will be art prints. Posters will be smaller, but you're gonna get 2 of them, and you get your choice of 2. So let's go ahead and hit the Q&A before we take off for the night. Been a good little stream. So let's see here. We'll do this for about 15 minutes. Why does his hand look like it's metal in the bottom panel? That's because he has a guard here over the top of his hand. His knuckles are also metal plated. There's certain parts of the Saint's outfit that are actually more silver than anything. What are my thoughts on Rick Sellis? Name doesn't ring a bell. Angry Green Boss says some Asian booty. Maybe. We might have a new pinup girl for the next one. Haven't decided yet. Morning, Bogdan. Speaking of which, I forgot to mention. I hope I have it saved on this computer. Do I? I might not. So give me a sec. Who would win in a fight, the Batman or the goddamn Batman? Which Batman? Are we talking Tom King's Batman? Because then the goddamn Batman would beat the shit out of him. Give me just a sec here. Reorient my windows. Show you guys this. One of the posters, since Bogdan is here. Oh, the artist to the OG Batman animated series. Well, he was tremendous. I forgot that I didn't know his name, honestly. Englewood and Lazarus, the same universe? Yes, these are all tied together. That is why this poster exists. There's another book that I'm doing in the same universe called The First Servant. And Bogdan Digital Art, who is in the chat, is my artist on it. And he, of course, is also doing a book that's out right now that I talked about last week called Angel's Awakening, that Daniel Parker, part of the audience, part of the community, wrote. I'm excited to see it. Hopefully you guys will back it if you haven't already. If you didn't see that, check out last week's episode. But that is Dracula that he's fighting. That is Vlad Tepes. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So this is a little bit of a prequel for The First Servant. But it's also a bit of a reveal that Vlad Tepes exists in this universe. There is a Dracula. So, at some point, there will be vampires in an Inglewood story. There might be demons in an Inglewood story. I can actually confirm in the Inglewood Peregrine book there are. So, it is going to be an exciting universe. Like I said, I built the Sleeveless universe over a portal to hell. There's a lot of beasties, a lot of things that go bump in the night in this universe. So it is going to be in like a lot of intense books to say the least. So, and then that book, I've written 25, 26 pages of it so far. And it's going to be, Alexa, shut up.
Okie dokie.
That was very weird. I don't know why the fuck that just happened. Anyway. Sorry. What the fuck? Did you guys hear that? That was... What the fuck? Anyway, back to vampires and violence. So yes, First Servant is part of the Sleeveless universe. Gosh, it is going to be a it's gonna be a violent book, very gory, but it will be it'll be really, really good. Did I include vampires to one-up Smiller? I one-up Smiller by existing. He's a really bad writer. He's a good artist, but he's a really bad writer. Like, I have... You put Inglewood next to Lone Star. Lone Star's just not as good. Sorry, Mike, but you're just not as good of a writer as I am. So... Anywho. So... Back to questions. Did Hatman and I watch Castlevania's newest season? Yes. And I will probably review it. If I don't do my own video on it, I will probably talk about it on the podcast. We are going to be back this week. So that is the plan. Servant says, would you be up to making a fighting game with your characters in it with Vlad being a boss? That would be really cool, but the plan that I have is not for that. I want to do a beat-em-up at some point with some of my characters, and then have it be maybe Vlad will be the final boss in it. I don't know. Sorry. Morning, SGD. What's up? So yeah, that is one thing I would love to do. I just need to meet some game developers at some point. Be like, hey, let's do a thing. We're gonna have a buff black man, like, beat up fucking monsters. It's gonna be awesome. Good morning, Chunky. Good to see ya. So, what else we got question-wise, guys? If I could pick one, Total Control. Ooh. What would it be? Animated series, video game, or collectible figures? Oh, God. Collectible figures is out. That's not a priority of mine. Animated series or video game? God. That's a really hard question. Because there's benefits to both. I mean, fuck. Gun to the Head, animated series. But it's a hard choice. Because both would be awesome. Fuck. So yeah, I guess if I had to pick. Animated video game. There we go. Now I can do both. Where's the most reference picks for the character of the Saint? I don't know. You mean like who did I draw a reference from when I came up with him? His build is based on Francis Ngannou, who is the current UFC heavyweight champion. But his facial features are based on the guy who played Kareem Saeed in Oz. So that's where the Saint comes from. People want to see Gunpla, huh? Give me one sec. So, this is the one that I keep on my desk. Everybody wish a happy birthday to the Angry Green Boss in the chat, guys. Happy birthday, buddy. So, this is Master Grade Barbatos. It is not custom colored or painted or anything like that, but I did panel line it. So, all the black lining and stuff. I'm going to need to get camera control to properly do this. Give me 1 second, guys. There we go. So, like this here, this is the guy that sticks on my desk. I assembled him in about 6 hours. It actually did not take long to build, because the big part of building anything Iron Blooded Orphans is always going to be the inner frame here. The inner frame, because it pokes out. You know, and it's just like armoring that's just on top of it. But it comes with the mace here. There is a pile bunker in it, if you look right there. The big anti-material rifle, and then, of course, his katana that he used at the end of the first season. So this is the one that I keep on my desk. This was a really good one. Probably one of the best kits that I own, honestly. Very well put together. Felt like I was building something off the show. So that's Barbatos. And let me put him back. Now, the next part is kind of tricky. I need to balance Barbie here. There we go. So this next one's kind of tricky. So I can't really move the camera over there. I have it on autofocus, so it's going to be a little funky for a second. But let me pick this guy up. This is the one that I just finished. This is a master grade Shenlong Endless Waltz version. Custom painted. These yellows here and then on his shield were originally like an orange color. I didn't like that, so I ended up custom painting him. This was all done with an airbrush. The whites I did not color over. I just filed them down, and they looked fine, so I didn't really feel like repainting them. I did panel line them, though, and then covered those with the top coat. I did not put decals on him either. His eyes, the greens inside the sensor, that's all painted. So, I think. Yeah, that's all painted. So, and then the glowy bits that are in, like, this, for the eyes and stuff, I use Gundam markers for that. So, but I top coated it all so it doesn't run or anything like that, and gives us this nice glossy finish. He's colored like he is in the anime this way. So, I think he looks a lot better with what I did with him than what he looked like out of the box. The only downside that happened was that these parts here, that's supposed to go down here that make these areas yellow, they broke. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to keep them gray. I think it looks fine. So, it's a pretty looking kit. Very, very easy to build. For a it's not really a Verkha, but you know, it's a Kotoki redesign, but it's not a Verkha. But still looks really, really good. I'm very happy with how it came out. And for those who wonder like how I did this, all of these parts, the blues and stuff, the reason they pop so well is because and the yellows is I used a white surfacer. So if you want color like this on your kits, white, like if you're gonna do yellows and reds and blues, use a white surfacer, and then do three coats over the top. The way I got this blue color was I did 2 coats of a almost sky blue mix that I did. Then I did put it in another mix to darken it a little bit. So now it looks almost exactly like it does in the show. I've already showed Xavier these, so he's the one who recommended that I get an airbrush. This is the second kit I've airbrushed, though. Let me show you the first one. I gotta be careful with this one because it could drop something. Because this thing is fucking huge. I'm gonna go ahead and just bring these 2 over here. Ugh. Okay. So now let me show you guys the one that I basically learned to airbrush on. This is the Master Grade Wing Gundam Verkha. So this is the Katoki redesign. All of the color bits on him and the grays are rebrushed. The helmet there, the V-fin, is hand painted, and the reason it's colored the way that it is because the top of the V-fin here, that it's supposed to be a 4-point V-fin. The 2 top parts snapped off in the process. So instead of reordering the part, instead what I did was I just filed it down, resurfaced it, colored the center of it red, and then the fins yellow. It came out a little darker than I wanted, but I can always redo it. You know, it's not a big deal. But it looks fucking fantastic. The colors on this pop really well. The reds on this are a little darker than the Shenlong because I experimented with surfacing on this one. All of the reds on this are surfaced in black and then red painted over. As you can see, it gives like a darker tone to it. I really like it. So, came out really, really well. The blues on this, if I recall correctly, I actually surfaced in gray. I had to repaint them, though, because I didn't top coat them very well. So they got scuffed and all this other stuff, so I had to basically respray them, and then I had to do that. What I have also learned, though, is that it's important to know your thinners. And what kind of thinner you're using to clean parts when you fuck up, because I didn't do that right. I tried to scrape paint off of this, and there's some battle damage on the shoulders there. So, it still looks good. I have to order a replacement part because you can see here above the cock area, right below the cockpit, there's supposed to be red there. There's not. For some reason, that part just got lost in the shuffle. So, I can reorder one. And I'll just repaint it real quick and slap it on there. So that's Wing Gundam. Let me put him back. Oh no, Wing Zero is dropping his fucking cannon. I'm gonna have to pull that. Fix that later. And then finally, the last one I did was one I talked to Xavier about. This one is spray painted, but it's really pretty. Focus. There we go. Death Scythe. This one, I actually... The whites on this are surfaced gray first and then spray painted white, which is why the white is a little dull. But it works well because the Death Scythe Hell Verkha, or the Death Scythe Hell in Endless Waltz, has very gray legs. So this kind of feels like a stopgap between the two. The original version of this actually had the helmet as pure white. And I'm like, no. So this is recolored as the TV version. The yellows here were originally orange like the other two. Fuck that. This looks a lot better in my opinion. The shield sadly got lost down the fucking drain while I was cleaning part of it off. So he doesn't get a buster shield, but that's okay. I think he looks good without it. So these Gunpla were definitely a learning process, but I learned a lot about how to properly do this stuff, and now I'm ready for the next ones that I'm going to do. I don't have the money for them yet, but what I'm going to be doing next is the Gundams from Gundam 00, and they're going to be candy painted. So these are just gloss. Reorder. Well, I'm not going to spend $50 on the piece. Like I can just there's a website I know that I can just buy replacement parts. You know. And I actually still have some of the parts of the Buster Shield, so I think I only need 2 parts. And then, hold on one sec. And then it would be fine. There we go. So yeah, it came out really well. I'm pretty happy with it. It's a nice little display over there. I'm actually gonna be moving Wing Zero out of there because I feel like I want to do because I have a spare action stand. I want to do, because I'm going to be ordering a new bookshelf soon, I want to do like the top of it have Wing Zero versus Epion. Because I do have Epion down there. He's on the second shelf. You can see him right down there by the tall geese. His tall geese is right there. And I've got Wing Proto Zero back there. I'm taking his action stand off. And I'm actually going to try to pull him apart and recolor him. But I don't know yet. I haven't decided. The new 00 kits are really good. Yeah, they look good. Because they've got this one that I'm really wanting to get my hands on. That is, it's the Virtue Gundam, which is technically 2 Gundams in one. So, oh, I forgot to read this donation. I'm sorry, sir. It says, best news after last night and last week and weekend. What roughly is when is Hatman roughly shipping him? I'll have a good idea when they get the money to go out. He will put it out on Twitter when he starts. So. So there we go. It's about all I have. Dynamis and the Curious really fun. Virtue comes out this year. They're also supposed to be doing a an Exia 2.0. That's the one I'm really looking forward to. Alright, have a good one, Angry Green Boss. Could you ever see yourself writing a comic in the Old West? At some point, I might. It depends on where things take me. I haven't really thought about it. It's not a priority for me. So I think that's about all there is. So, since it is late, I'm going to go ahead and take off. I got some writing stuff to do. I need to go put in my pitches to RT as well. And yeah, it will be fun times, to say the least. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take off. I will see you guys later. Until then, have yourselves a good night.